Well, before we get into today's video, I want to thank everybody that's new to my channel that's came over from yesterday's, well, UFO video. And we're going to do another one right now. I talk about many topics, and, you know, I like to put out videos that interest you. So if you're interested in UFOs and Bigfoots and things like that, well, I will be putting videos out on those subjects. Not all of them, but some. But before we get into today's video, I have to share something I feel is a grave injustice to the people of the world that I discovered actually just today, this morning. This will only take a minute. This is very important. I want you guys to all listen. You're probably not going to believe me. Yesterday, I went to town. I had to get some lumber. I'm working on trying to finish my addition on my home. And I went to the, the big box stores, and then I needed to get some food at Aldi. I go to Aldi's. If you don't know, I live a carnivore lifestyle, which means I only eat meat, cheese, dairy products, which basically is only cheese. And I'm in Aldi's, and something came over me when I hit the cheese section. I don't know what it was. But I usually go right to the, $1.45 brick about yay big cheese. They got Colby. They got pepper jack. They got extra sharp cheddar. That's one of my favorites. But then something came over me. Don't know what. Maybe it's the aliens. I said, hey, look up, dude. I looked up. Top shelf, rich people cheese. It ain't cheap. I looked at that. Fancy names I can't even pronounce, but I found one that I could see the word cheddar. I knew it was something I really shouldn't be buying. It was a little more out of my budget. I said, you know what? I'm going to get some rich people cheese, and I want to see what it's all about. Well, in my belly right now is it's like an egg scramble that's brewing. And on that egg scramble, I sliced up some of that rich people cheddar cheese. Of course, I had to take a nibble of it. And as soon as that rich people cheddar, whatever the other words were, cheese, hit my lips, it was like, I had just found the cure for heroin addicts and fentanyl addicts around the world. All they got to do is walk in with a $5 bill at Aldi and buy some of that rich people cheese. Because I'm going to tell you, I ain't never tasted no cheese like that. I should have saved the wrapper. It's down in the trash can, and there's eggshells and stuff, and I'm not digging it out. But when you go into Aldi next time, look up. That's where they keep it. The rich people cheese, it's up there. It's like $4.59 for a smaller brick, and it's packaged fancy. But man, whew, now you know. Now you know. Rich people cheese. What else are they hiding? I already been buying the rich people eggs, pasture raised, and I got chickens. Why don't I just get them out of there? I don't know. What else are they hiding from us? These rich people don't talk, I'm telling you. They ain't going to tell us poor folk about no rich people cheese, no. Well, I have a new theory about UFOs. I don't know that it's a new theory. I've heard other people speak of it. It is a possibility. What if these craft we are seeing, yet try to photograph and they always get blurry and zoom out of, frame? What if? What if those are us in the future? What if I am on one of those crafts? Boy, I'd have to be pretty old, because I'm already old. And I don't think we're at that technology yet where I could be on. But if I was, Maybe I went back 2 days before now and said, make a UFO video. Those people, well, we don't know. It's possible. We have found time travel. And we're coming back to look at ourselves and see how things used to be. I don't know why we would. What would you go? Where would you go if you had your own time traveling spacecraft? I'd go back and watch Jimi Hendrix, and there'd be a lot of things I'd go do. Yeah. But that's just one theory people are talking about. I just put a video up on my main channel, and it sucked because the camera I was using was blurry. The background was clear, but I wasn't. That's probably a good thing. And I'm talking about the underground, the under the water bases that they're talking about. The USOs that are going under the water at unbelievable speeds that the Navy has proof on. The ocean is so unexplored. You know, we know more about the surface of the moon than we do the ocean. And it's just almost impossible to explore so much of it because of the pressure. It's just so vast. Not as vast as space, but if you were a species that did not want to be discovered, that would be the ideal place. Also in the Antarctic, there's stories, and there's the galactic wars going on again up there. Y'all hear it every day. I've lived here 11 years, and I've never ever seen them out this much. Every single day. There must be a hell of a budget for those guys. I don't see any explosions, though. And there's another theory. I don't bring up too much religion in my videos. It just creates too much comments that I don't want to deal with. I believe in God, and I believe in the Bible. And a lot of that it could be, and I was talking to my father this morning, and he says there's many counts in the Bible that can explain some of this. I'm terrible at remembering Bible verses, but it's there. And it's also in other religious texts, you know, and tribes. Every bit of history has something to do with it. So yes, it could be religious. Nobody's ever really gonna know till it's all said and done. My advice to people is just live your life. Don't worry about it. I'm sure there's people somewhere holed up in a room because they're terrified of what could happen. That's not living life, man. That is not living life. Just live your life and enjoy life while you're here. Anything that's going to happen, it's going to happen whether you're afraid of it, whether you're not. It doesn't matter. Somebody made a comment that I'm doing fear-mongering videos. These videos are all over YouTube. If people didn't want to watch these kind of videos, they wouldn't be clicking on it. I don't think it's fear-mongering. I think when we start to talk about things we couldn't talk about if I were putting out a video like this 20 years ago, I'd be labeled as off my rocker, crazy. People that seen things 20 years ago didn't talk about them because they would be labeled as a nutcase. Some of them, maybe they were. Maybe they didn't see things, but a lot of them did. And they just didn't come out and talk about it because, well, that's how society was at that time. And it's still there, you know. People still have stories that they're not ready to come out and discuss. But there are so many possibilities, and as my father was talking, he says it's all dimensional. You know, we have so many dimensions. That is also in the Bible about the dimensions. That would be more plausible than somebody traveling from a million light years away. Our scientists have said that's impossible, but I would say our scientists don't know squat compared to what other life forms might know. But it would be more plausible if it was a dimension where, yes, a door would open up and they could just walk through. They would have to come up with something like that. Now, there's one explanation I seen where they're using this, and it's like you take a piece of paper and fold it, and it's easier, you know. They're folding the space-time continuum. They have to have something like that, and that's more likely than, you know. They're not traveling for months at a time, years at a time in a spacecraft. They're here like that. I'd like to hear what you guys think about it. You know, like I said, I am very skeptical when it comes to these things. I have to see it to believe it. Do I think things exist that I don't know about? Oh, certainly. Like the rich people cheese. I had no clue. That's why I'm using the rich people cheese story, because it's been there all along. Every time I go to Aldi. Yet, I didn't look up. All I had to do was just look up, and there it was. Pure heaven in my gizzard. Oh, just thinking about it, man. Enough of the cheese, man. I wonder what that rich people butter tastes like. I remember in kindergarten they'd put some cream or something in a jar, and we'd all sit in a Indian style in a circle. Why is it called Indian style? Don't other people sit like that? But anyway, we'd pass it around and shake it up, and it got all thick and buttery. That's how you make butter. Can you imagine them factories, how big they got to be with all them people sitting around in a Indian style with jugs making butter? They got to be massive, bigger than Toyota plant, I'll guarantee you. I got to go get on the internet and look at a butter factory. Anyway, if you're enjoying the videos, hey man, this month, 100% of my ad revenue on this channel and one video on the other channel is going to a good cause. It's going to a local dog rescue I work with. They transport unwanted dogs up north where they cannot find dogs and get them good homes. They already go to a waiting home. So I'm donating 100%. Doesn't matter if these videos go viral or not. 100% of the revenue goes to the dog rescue. And I feel good about doing that for them. It's really hard work. I've been involved with it. It's not easy. I wish some of them UFOs would come down and suck up some of these dogs that need homes. I mean, do these aliens have dogs? Little space dogs up there? Yeah? Do these dogs have, instead of dog houses, do they have their own little UFOs? Fido. Fied UFO. Could be. What if they give their dogs some of that rich people cheese? I didn't give any to my dogs because it's all mine. I'm keeping it. I guess that's all I got, guys. Thanks for watching. Happy trails.